What if the fate of the next Lakers dynasty isn't written in star power or flashy signings, but quietly decided in the midnight chess moves of a desperate front office? What if the difference between glory and heartbreak comes down to locking down the perimeter on the defensive end, the kind of lockdown defense only a handful of players in the league can provide, and no one in purple and gold notices until it's too late? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now, buckle up, because I'm about to peel back the layers on a story that feels like an absolute heist for the Lakers, a move so under the radar, so quietly explosive. It might just tip the scales for this team desperate to stop bleeding on the defensive end. It's about a player whose name lurks in whispers, but whose impact could set off waves across the roster. A depth piece that feels more like a missing puzzle corner than elusive Gary Payton. Let me take you through how Gary Payton, yes, the defensive maestro whose calling card is smothering guards and wings with relentless pressure, is suddenly front and center in Lakers' plans. This isn't about stars chasing scoring glory, no. It's about the gritty, ugly underbelly of NBA defense. That point of attack lockdown man the Lakers have begged for all offseason, with rosters shaken and big names like Bradley Beal fleeing to the Clippers and Damian Lillard sealing a return to Portland. The Lakers front office finds itself trading pipe dreams for depth and grit, chasing the kind of player who doesn't light up highlight reels, but suffocates the opposition's best guards until they break. Dan Voigt and Joe Vardon from The Athletic laid down a truth bomb this week. The Lakers' top priority now is elite perimeter defense, and Payton fits that bill to a T. He's not here to drop 25. He's here to lock down the backcourt with the tenacity of a warrior, a role perfectly molded for the Lakers' bleeding defensive woes. Adding fuel to the fire, Anthony Irwin's report exposed that Payton is very much on the Lakers' radar, though with my usual grain of salt. His scoop aligns with the bigger narrative and the subtle moves made behind closed doors. Beyond the headlines, there's a deeper chemistry brewing. Payton recently signed with Bill Duffy's agency, the very same rep that handles Luka Doncic, which, for Lakers watchers, rings all sorts of bells. Shared representation in the NBA world often signals serious deja vu, a strategic convergence, possibly nudging this union closer to reality. The implications? If Payton and Doncic share agents, could their synergy extend to the Lakers' roster? Could this be the key ingredient in wresting control of those vulnerable defensive gaps on the wing and backcourt? You see, this team's bench depth is an urgent question mark. Bronny James is soaring into rotation spot territory, quite brilliantly as one of the most gifted 55th picks in recent memory, yet beyond him, depth is patchy at best. Donnie DiVincenzo's summer league performances fade into worry, and Shake Milton's exit is imminent, meaning that bench scoring is a major concern. Sure, Jake LaRavia intrigues with potential, but the Lakers need more from every position. Are we really okay with a bench crew that struggles to contain opposing scorers? It's no secret the Lakers starters LeBron, Davis, Doncic, Reeves, and Rua bring firepower, but defensively, cracks remain painful and deep. Last season's blowout against the Timberwolves still stings, with Austin Reeves getting utterly toyed with by McDaniels and his defenders. Enter Gary Payton, a career 34% three-point shooter who doesn't bring buckets, but brings a field goal percentage north of 57% last year, and a defensive prowess that allows him to guard 1 through 3 positions with shutdown efficiency. Picture this: 15 minutes of relentless perimeter disruption. A player who is less about flash and more about mess up your best player's night. That's precisely the role the Lakers have lacked, yet one Payton has filled consistently for the Warriors in their playoff pushes, for various squads desperate to win without the glam stats. This isn't a franchise-altering signing in headlines, but a quiet stitch in the Lakers' fabric, the kind of gritty insurance that could save LeBron's and Doncic's shoulders from carrying the entire defensive load. But it's not just about on-court fit. It's about timing and opportunity. Damian Lillard signing back with Portland for $40 million over 3 years, with all the comfort of home and no pressure to win now, closes the door on another big-name splash that Lakers fans dreamed about. The Bucks' stretch contract tangled Lillard's free agency with complexity, and the Lakers offer likely the veteran minimum never really threatened Portland's pull. Bradley Beal's Clippers move further narrows the window for stars, pushing the Lakers deeper into the role player market, the underappreciated steady hands. It's a humbling pivot, yet, amid these shifts, The Lakers front office Pelinka at the helm promises moves will come, and it feels like the chessboard is being quietly reset with Payton too. As a central piece, can you feel that tension? The past decade of Lakers glory-chasing superstars, whether Dwight, Melo, or Kawhi rumors, should leave us wary. But what if this calculated gamble on defense and depth is the smarter play? The very essence of championship basketball is balance, and the Lakers have been unbalanced defensively for too long. Adding Payton to isn't just about plugging a hole. It's about reclaiming an identity lost in the shuffling identity that held court a decade ago when lockdown defense was the silent engine of Lakers dynasties. And yes, there are questions. What happens to Gabe Vincent, who has struggled to produce and now battles for relevance? Can Jake LaRavia blossom into the bench scorer the purple and gold desperately need? What about injury-clouded names like Maxi Kleber or DJ Seeley? The roster looks patchwork, and yet, perhaps a player like Payton is the linchpin to hold it steady. And then, there's Bronny James, a beacon of hope, yet also a symbol of the Lakers' long-term puzzle. Can he develop into the kind of defensive stopper that makes adding veterans like Payton redundant? Or does his growth timeline force the Lakers to lean on established defenders now? The emotional weight here is suffocating to a fan who remembers championship runs. I feel the bittersweet pang of excitement and caution, the ghost of every blown defensive assignment, haunting every play. Payton isn't going to carry this team alone, no. No one player will from the bench or otherwise, but his presence could be the subtle nudge from desperation to resilience, veterans in the locker room, defensive tenacity on the floor, and a quietly burgeoning supporting cast hoping to elevate their game. This is a season of survival for the Lakers. And so, as a lifelong Lakers fan, who has cheered on the Rockets' highs and crumbled through the bitter lows, I can't help but feel a restless anticipation. Gary Payton could be the unsung hero who shifts the narrative, or merely a stopgap in a grander unraveling. Is this the quiet start of a new Lakers empire built on defense and grit, or a sign that the franchise is once again chasing shadows, hoping for magic in the margins? The stakes couldn't be higher, the room for error razor thin. So, Lakers Nation, what do you think? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one of them. Listen up, Lakers Nation, if you think this is just another off-season blip, another wait-and-see story to scroll past, then you're missing the heart of this entire saga beating beneath the surface. We are at a crossroads that threatens to reshape everything we've loved and lost about Lakers basketball. Because, honestly, what does this all mean for LeBron James, King James, the relentless phantom who's been the heartbeat of LA for nearly 2 decades, dragging this team through fire, rain, and injury, refusing to surrender the throne despite the toll on his body and soul? The man was supposed to be the final piece, the eternal hope to cement a Lakers dynasty that echoes back to the Showtime days, a legacy as untouchable as Magic's jazz hands and as gritty as Kobe's Mamba mentality. But here we are, in a world where the Lakers aren't waving rookie sensations like Bronny into starring roles just yet. They're hunting for gritty grinders like Gary Payton to cover their defensive sins. Because let's be honest, the bruising defense that won us 5 rings since 2000 has all but evaporated into thin air. The burden on AD feels heavier than ever. Every pick and roll, every switch, every breakdown in coverage chips away at who he wants to be, the bruiser and baller who can carry the franchise when LeBron inevitably fades. Payton's addition, it might alleviate some of that pressure, give Davis a fighting chance to elevate his defensive dominance from one gear to another, reduce the mental load that's already weighed down this squad through too many brutal playoff exits and soul-crushing injuries. But what about the soul of this team? Remember the days of relentless effort, the scrappy hustle plays, the guys flying around the court with nothing but anticipation and heart like meta world peace, bringing the noise on defense, or raw artists turning games into gladiator battles. The Lakers have been star-studded yet defensively soft, a paradox where talent isn't turning into tenacity. So, bringing in Payton isn't just roster tinkering, it's a call to arms, a plea to resurrect the tenacity that once was the Lakers' signature. And yeah, the front office has been a maze of hope and heartbreak. Rob Pelinka's moves are scrutinized with the intensity of 1,000 suns. Every missed free agent, every unfulfilled trade rumor weighs on us like a gravestone for our playoff dreams. Now toss and Genie Bus holding the reins, steady but sometimes hesitant. And then imagine a billionaire with pockets deeper than the Pacific Ocean eyeing the Lakers, a disruptor ready to shake the foundation, rewrite the rules. Redefine how purple and gold do business. That could mean everything, maybe a switch to a new front office philosophy, a fire sale, or a win now blitzkrieg that leaves no stone unturned. The very balance between a Lakers rooted in history and a franchise chasing the modern NBA rocket. Fuel could shatter overnight. Now imagine the ripples this sends through the West. The Warriors, still lurking with their own championship aura thanks to Steph's resurgence and Klay's slow but steady rise, might wake up to find the Lakers, with Payton plugging gaps in their defense, not overpowering, not dazzling, but slow simmering menace they just can't shake off. Denver's Jamal Murray and the Nuggets can smell the blood too. Prowling behind Jokic with a chip on their shoulder, maybe they see vulnerability or opportunity. Where we see struggle, Phoenix's Devin Booker and the Clippers' Kawhi Leonard and whatever else combo are itching to pounce on the slightest sign of Lakers fracture, waiting to exploit this chaos like a pack of coyotes circling their prey. And Lakers fans, we felt this fire before those blistering highlights of Showtime's lightning-fast offense. The cloning of that magic in the 2000s with Shaq and Kobe's domination. The stinging defeat after defeat until the 2010 revenge saga finally delivered that long-awaited two-peat. And the sweet oasis of the 2020 bubble championship that gave a weary fanbase a glimpse of unshakable joy and triumph amidst a global pandemic nightmare. But after every high, the fall has been brutal injuries, coaching changes, drama, superstar departures, and now that fragile spine of a roster looks like it could snap under pressure again. The Lakers are scarred, battle-worn, no longer almighty, but still hungry, starving for something more tangible than dreams and whispers. And so here we stand, on the precipice of a season that will either mark the dawn of a new chapter or another year of limbo. Payton is more than a role player. He's a symbol of persistence, defense incarnate, a ghost from a past era of blue-collar success trying to hustle his way back into the spotlight. But what if this gamble on grit isn't enough? What if the Lakers bleed defense even with Payton's ferocity? What if Bronny's rise illuminates the path, but is still too early and uneven to bear the weight of championship dreams? What if Austin Reeves, a fan favorite, finally grows into the consistent two-way player we all crave, or instead struggles to escape the soft spot narrative that haunts him every night? What if the Lakers bench discovers new stars in Laravia and Kleber, or collapses under the relentless grind of the Western Conference's juggernauts? The stakes are astronomical, not just for wins and losses, but for the very essence of what it means to wear the purple and gold. This franchise is more than a team. It's a living, breathing saga written in triumph and heartbreak, inherited by every player who steps on the court and every fan who bleeds Lakers purple. No matter the arena, the era, or the outcome, as a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. This season won't be won or lost on a buzzer beater or a blockbuster trade, but in the quiet, grinding seconds where someone like Gary Payton that makes the difference no highlight reel shows. I see a battle for identity, a struggle to reconcile past glory with present reality, where every possession on defense is a war cry and every stop is a lifeline thrown to LeBron, AD, and the younger blood trying to carve their place in this legacy. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your raw take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, because this isn't just a story, this is our story, our fight, our hope hanging by a thread right now. Are we witnessing the birth of a resilient new Lakers DNA? Or are we staring into the abyss of another season that almost, but never quite breaks through? The clock is ticking, and the stakes have never been higher, so speak up, because this is your moment to roar or rust in silence.